What is up, YouTube? Sciz1 here, and today, as promised, I know it's a little late, but I have a Q&A for you. I'll be answering all the questions you guys asked me on my unboxing video I did a couple weeks ago, as well as the Instagram questions that you guys gave me. I guess I'll start off with Instagram ones. I'll see how many I can get through. I got quite a few, though, so if I don't answer yours just because I'm trying to save time or because it was similar to another question, something like that. Also, I've had a few before, so I'll link you to my other video here in the corner, somewhere like that, where you can see my other Q&A, where some of the other questions were answered. So without further ado, first question comes from Trackside Whiskey on Instagram. Why did you get into graffiti? Basically, it was just sort of, I think I said it in the other video too, but just me seeing stuff that I really liked, and from there I obviously wanted to create stuff that looked cool, like the stuff I saw. From there on, I sort of liked being able to influence how people feel, so doing that through art was very, very powerful for me, so that's sort of what made me stick with it after starting. Next question from Slap Someoneer. Show us your favorite piece you've drawn. Also, would love to know how you come up with the color schemes that complement each other. Favorite piece, I can't really choose just one. If you want to see a piece that I'm very happy with that I've done recently, so I'll link it on screen if it's up. It'll be right there, and you can see that. I'll also link you to some videos of other ones that I'm happy with too, if you want to check them out, because I can't really go hunt up the pieces that I'm thinking of at the moment. I'm not even sure if I have some of them. As for color schemes, if you guys aren't familiar with like the color wheel, look up a color wheel, and the basically how it works is colors that are opposite on this color wheel are gonna contrast and look good together. So that's if you're stuck for color ideas, you can look on there. That'll probably help you out. But, mainly, I just sort of find some similar colors and then find some colors that'll contrast really well with them. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Snaver asks, who are your biggest influences as an artist? I don't really have like a ton of people who I can just throw out there and say these people are who got me into this and why I do what I do. A lot of different people really at some point or another have influenced my work. When I first started doing graffiti, I think it was like an Iron Lack video where I first saw some really amazing spray paint work. But my first influences, I'd have to say, were like artists like Burst or Askew, Ewok, Does, anybody of that nature really. And then later, when you start getting into canvas work and that kind of stuff, just a jumble of different artists really. I've taken a lot of different influences from this and that, just different stuff, but I can't really point to anybody specifically. Parator Amond Art on Instagram, sorry if I screwed that up, asks, are you doing any collaboration work at the moment? Not really. I'll do some collaboration stuff every now and then if I see an artist that I think I have some ideas to work with. Other than that, I don't really do that much collaborative work, partly because I don't have a lot of people around me that are into the type of stuff I do too, but I'm sure I do a bit more if that were the case, but no, none at the moment. And Gleese on Instagram asks, what does Sciz mean? Basically, it's just a collection of letters that I like. I find them easy to work with to create different styles and draw some complicated stuff with them, so it doesn't really have any meaning to me. At first I wrote the word schism instead of sciz, so that's sort of where the S-C-I-Z comes from, but I shortened it, just didn't really like the M that much on it. No real backstory other than that, though. Toxic1 Graffiti. Have you had any other tag except Sciz1? As I just sort of mentioned, I used to write Schism. When I first started, I wrote Spaz, S-P-A-Z. I changed it in a couple months to Schism, and then shortened it to Sciz. But basically, I've been writing Sciz for the better part of the 7 years I've been in graffiti. 000 Kingdom 000 on YouTube asks, is there a writing style you prefer? Are you a member of a crew? As for a writing style, I try and change it up and do different styles for a lot of my different pieces. I find that a lot of my paper sketches turn out looking a lot different than a lot of my canvas stuff, and of course my spray paint work is there's no connection to my canvas or paper work at all. I don't really prefer one style over another. I like trying to make complex stuff, so I guess that would indicate leaning towards wild style type stuff, but I try for all different looks, all different styles, and I enjoy doing them all. Are you a member of a crew? All the sort of crews that I've been in, they all kind of like fall off the map. I don't really like online crews because you never really get anything done. I'm sort of loosely still associated with the W2A crew. That's the We Are Artists crew. I try and avoid crews nowadays. I've just sort of had enough of the futility of them, you know? Like, you don't really get anywhere with them, I'm finding. Davis Hicks asks, what would you say would be some good beginning supplies for a newer graffiti artist? The biggest tip supply-wise I can give newer artists is don't buy the expensive stuff. You really don't want to spend that much money until you're really good and you're gonna be doing like pieces that you're really proud of. So just get whatever's cheapest. Personally, I have the strong belief that you can create almost anything with almost anything once you're used to it. So just get used to using some things that aren't too expensive and will serve you well. You can upgrade later and see if you like some of the more expensive stuff. But I know a lot of artists that have some kind of cheap marker and it's just like their go-to marker. They'll use it for everything. So don't always go with the more expensive stuff. I would definitely recommend starting off cheap at least and possibly staying there. Carlos Casillas asks, what do you think you'd be doing as a hobby if you never got into graffiti? Probably the same stuff I do outside of graffiti now. I'm big into sports. Like I've done wrestling all throughout high school, soccer, I bike a lot, big into airsoft, that type of thing too. Just sort of typical things. I'm very glad that I did start doing this though. It's given me something to be more passionate about than I would have previously. Sray Smash asks, would you get angry if someone bites your name? Not style, but the name? Not really. I know of actually like I've heard of one or two other people that write the same thing I do, but I like for my work to speak for itself, and it doesn't really bother me. I don't know, I'm doing what I do, they can do what they do. If that's the name they choose to go by, I mean, I can't really do anything about it, so there's no use stressing over it. This is the last question, by the way. Prio Graffiti asks, what tips would you give someone just trying to start wild style? The biggest tip I would first say is make sure you're ready to start it. A lot of people just rush right into it and they don't have any concept or knowledge of structure or colors, color schemes, space. You really need to know your sort of elements and principles of design before you get into wild style. I'd say do your research, make sure you know basically how to make a piece look good, and then try and expand your lettering from there. I have a tutorial on the subject actually, so I'll link you to that, and that might help you out. I was planning on doing another one because I've been getting a lot of requests lately, but I'll link that one to you for now, and hopefully it helps you out. This is getting a bit long, so I don't want to drag it out. So that's all the questions I'm going to answer. Thanks to everyone who asked me stuff. I hope I answered them well enough. Maybe I'll do another one of these in a while. Definitely check out the videos I linked you to. Lots more to come on the channel. Until my next video, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.